Hi everyone, welcome to Investing in Value. Today, well, at Rocket Lab up 13.5% today, so the market is starting to really take notice of this stock. It's just not today, like it's been moving up for quite a while now. If we look at the 5-day chart, it's been moving up 21% in the last 5 days. If we look at the 3-month chart, it's been moving up 78%. So you kind of get the idea. In the last few months, it's been moving up pretty well. Last 6 months, 112%. You get the idea. The market is slowly buying up this stock. And if you don't take notice, all of a sudden the valuation's going to be going a lot higher, and you just start to realize, why are people so interested in this stock? Well, because it's basically a mini SpaceX. Like, they are on the cusp of being very similar to SpaceX. The minute they have their neutron rocket, which is a larger version of the Electron, and which they plan to launch commercially around middle of next year, so we're looking around 9 months. When getting closer to that time frame, the stock's just going to continue to crawl upwards, because people see that value of getting to that stage where you're basically very similar to SpaceX. So all of a sudden the market is looking at the stock and it's buying it up, and today it really started to buy up a lot of it. So the volume today was 29 million shares, and when you compare that with the average, which is 11 million shares, so when you look at stocks and you look at the movement, you really want to look at the volume. The volume tells you a lot. And the volume today at 29 million shares says there's a lot of people interested in buying the stock, and it's an above normal movement from the stock, particularly when you look at the last 5 days and you go, it's already moved up 21% in the last 5 days. This stock has not been as volatile as you think it is. It's actually been very consistent in its movement upwards. So it shows that there's really genuine enthusiasm, a lot of accumulation in the stock, and basically it looks like it's going to continue, because people start to see the potential of this company. Like, I watch this stock a lot, and I watch the kind of media coverage that goes on the stock. And in the last 2 months, I've seen so much media coverage of this company that it's kind of weird, because like a year ago, I didn't see much of anything around Rocket Lab. Like, you did see some, but it was, the odd piece here and there. But lately, it's sort of all over the news. Like, you don't go 1 week without seeing something pop up on the media about Rocket Lab. So that's kind of starting to show you that it's hitting the mainstream, the mass market is starting to look at it, and it's really going to start buying this company up in a big way. And if you start to follow the progress of Neutron, which the market will start to do that, every positive step that it starts to make, the market's going to reward it with an increase in share price. Of course, it can be the other way around. If they do something terrible, then the share price will head backwards. But currently the company's doing all the right moves, it's going in the right direction, and the market starts to see. Like, you look at SpaceX and you go, that's a $210 billion company. And we have Rocket Lab at $4.28 billion. And if we go, it goes 10 times upwards, it's only $42 billion. It's still a fraction of SpaceX, and it's going to have very similar capabilities as SpaceX. The minute they have Neutron up, they are going to launch much larger satellites, and they're going to go into the service industry, where they start offering their own services and generating recurring revenue, which is the special ingredient in a lot of companies. The minute you can start earning very consistent income in a large way, the market loves you. The market will love this stock in the future once it gets there, and on its way up there, people are going to start buying up the stock in a very, very big way. Like, you look at ASC Space Mobile, people are buying that stock up all the way to its launches of its satellite, because they saw the potential of the company and they started to buy it up. The thing is, that company had no revenues, whereas Rocket Lab, it has very genuine, like, it's got rockets that go to space, it builds satellites, and the revenues are pretty sizable. Like we're looking at about 400 million kind of revenue base, and you look at the valuation, it's only a 10x on that revenue. So in a way, it's actually current valuation. It's very fair, but it doesn't value Neutron. When Neutron comes onto the market, it's going to change the company in a massive way. It basically puts the company on the trajectory of going over $1 billion in revenue in the future. And that's where the real potential is. And with the minute the market starts really, really taking notice, which it is taking notice now anyway, the company valuation goes through the roof. 4.4 billion right now. It's still very, it's still like a small valuation, and it has plenty of potential to go upwards as long as they continue to do a lot of good moves. And right now, everything they're doing is, right on target. They are on, target to go commercial with the Neutron rocket in 9 months. Of course, there can be delays. It's definitely worth looking at the stock, and just considering, is it a stock that you want to buy into? Is it a stock you're willing to hold? And at least I think the 9 month time frame to hold this stock will be looking very good, particularly right now. At this kind of valuation, holding 9 months for a good return, I think it's definitely worth some consideration. Of course, there's some delays, so always think about some of the risks when you make these decisions. But the value, I think the reward kind of is more than the risk itself, if you know what I mean. Alright, until then, post any questions or comments below, and good luck investing, everyone.